The Coppock curve is a momentum indicator developed by Edwin Coppock. He introduced the indicator in Barron's in October of 1965. And the goal of this indicator at the time was to identify long-term buying opportunities in the S&P 500 and the Dow Industrials. Now, even though it was originally designed for monthly charts and long-term analysis, it can be used on intraday, daily, or weekly charts, and the settings can be adjusted to suit one's own trading style. The Coppock curve is a 10-period weighted moving average of the 14-period ROC, or rate of change, plus the 11-period ROC. So let's go ahead and load it up, and I'll show you what that means. Okay, down here in indicators, let's load up the Coppock curve first. Right there, click on that. And below it, let's go ahead and get two rate of changes. The first one at the 14 period, and the second one at the 11 period. So what you have here in the parameters area is the Coppock curve set at 14, 11, 10. Then you have the rate of change at 14, the rate of change at 11. Go ahead and click update. And here you see the Coppock curve is a weighted moving average of these two indicators, which means basically it has smooth lines. And it's basically used for buy signals, not so much for sell signals. Okay, so the Coppock curve buy signal right here was when the stock was breaking out of a bullish cup and handle chart pattern. On this day right here, it closed above neckline resistance right there. Okay, so that was a buy signal. Here's another buy signal right here. After the big volume bottom, just after the doji, a couple of days later, huge volume comes in and almost breaks above all of this resistance. But then it's got 5 or 6 days of green volume that sends it big momentum. So rate of change shows momentum. It is named momentum. Okay, and it's showing huge momentum. The buy signal came a little bit later here because this is a smoother line. This one came first, then this one, and then Coppock curve. Okay, so if you use it as a buy signal, it worked here and it worked here. Now on this chart of ACAD, the Coppock curve gave 3 buy signals, one here, and one here, when it dipped below the 0 line and then crossed back up through it. Now there's not much below 0 because this stock is corner to corner up. Okay, but the first signal that it generated just by dipping below 0 and crossing back up through it came right here, and the stock did go up. Okay, right here it shows serious momentum. Whenever there's a gap up at the open like that and a run, a big day that's a tall white candle closing close to the high of the day, that is going to show up in the Coppock curve as volatility. Okay, remember this is based on the rate of change, which is called momentum. Volatility and momentum are, pretty much the same thing. It's very volatile, very, very big momentum on that jump. Okay, then it dips below the 0 line and crosses back up right here. And the stock goes up, pulls back a little, but then it breaks out on really good volume into blue sky territory above all of this resistance. Exactly what you want to see. So this buy signal was generated right here at about $13, and the stock ran to over $20 in just a week. 5 sessions. Okay, then it pulls back. It crosses down below 0. Gives another buy signal right here. And the stock goes up. Okay, so basically what this is showing is that this stock is in an uptrend because it's above the 0 line way more than it's not. Now on this chart of Bank of America, BAC, the Kopuk curve gave 1, 2, 3, 4 buy signals that all worked. Okay, by dipping below zero and then crossing back up through it, this generated a buy signal right here as a stock was breaking out of a bullish double bottom chart pattern on very nice volume. Okay, then it pulls back. Here's the next signal it gives right here, just right before it pops on the highest green volume on this chart day, as it gaps up and closes above both of these levels of resistance. Okay, then it forms a bearish head and shoulder chart pattern with the head here, the left shoulder here, the right shoulder here, and another shoulder here, and then it drops. So then it gives another buy signal right here just before it pops out and breaks out to new highs above this area of resistance on very good volume. Okay, then it forms a bearish head and left shoulder, right shoulder twice chart pattern. When it breaks neckline resistance right here, it falls hard. Nice reversal candle with a long lower wick just before the new signal comes as a bullish cup and handle chart pattern breaks out above this area of resistance right here as it gives the buy signal. Okay, volume picks up dramatically as it breaks out to new highs above all resistance on this chart. Now on this chart for SAND, which is in a serious downtrend corner to corner, the Kopuk curve is spending almost all of its time below the zero line, showing the downtrend. On these huge momentum falls, it is showing extreme momentum as it goes way down to minus 50 or so. Very little time is spent above the zero line. Looks like about 75% of the time is below zero. Now on this chart for VNDA, the Kopuk curve only gave 2 buy signals, one right here and one right here, when it dipped below the zero line and then crossed up through it. This one worked pretty good. If you bought this buy signal right here, you were in at $4 and the stock ran to over $13. The next time it gave a buy signal was right here after a serious pullback, and the stock did go up a little. Then it pulled back, found support where it had it before, and then the biggest green volume shows up on this chart and gaps it up. Good earnings, good news. Something caused it to go from 8 to about 10.50 at the open, and it closed at about 11.50 that day. Okay, so that was a good buy signal. It bounced up off zero right here. It looked like it was going to cross down through it, but because of the volume in the gap, it bounced up off the zero line and remained bullish and in an uptrend with increasing momentum. Now on this chart for BYD, the Kopuk curve gave 1, 2, 3, 4 buy signals. Let's see how they worked. The first one was right here when it dipped below zero and crossed back up through it. Okay, that happened right here before the breakout on huge volume into blue sky territory. The next time it gave it was right here, just before it broke out to all new highs on this chart above this resistance and that resistance. Pretty good volume that day, or in this area. Okay, so it goes up. Momentum is pretty flat right here because it is gapping up, but basically running flat until this nice curvy bottom. And the biggest green volume on this chart sends it into blue sky territory on a huge white candle above all levels of resistance. Very, very bullish. Exactly what you want to see. The curve says it's a very powerful momentum move. Okay, then here comes the fall. The curve falls, drops below zero, crosses back up through it, and gives a buy signal right here. Okay, the stock does go kind of up, comes down, tests support, fails, tests this support, and makes it. Then comes the biggest volume in a couple of months. Green volume, gapping it up. The buy signal was right here on that momentum move, on that gap move on high volume.